You did everything right. You were kind, you were calm, you never raised your voice. And yet, they hate you. Not just dislike, hate. The kind of cold, quiet hatred that shows up in the way someone looks at you. Or worse, the way they stop looking at you altogether. And the most terrifying part? You have no idea what you did wrong. Because you didn't do anything wrong. That is Nietzsche's brutal, unwelcome truth. And most people spend their entire lives refusing to hear it. There is a lie we are all raised to believe. The lie says that if you are good, people will recognize it. If you are fair, people will respect it. If you are honest and kind and hardworking, the world will meet you with the same energy. It sounds beautiful. It is completely false. And deep down, some part of you already knows this. You have felt it. You have done everything right and still been punished for it. You have been the most loyal person in the room and still been the first one thrown out. You have carried people on your back and watched them talk about you behind yours. This is not bad luck. This is human nature at its darkest. And Nietzsche saw it with terrifying clarity. Here is what he understood that most people are too uncomfortable to admit. The hatred that comes for you when you have done nothing wrong is not really about you at all. It is about what you represent. It is about what your existence forces other people to feel about themselves. Your discipline reminds the undisciplined of their own laziness. Your silence makes the loud feel exposed. Your peace makes the anxious feel even more chaotic. You are not hated for your failures. You are hated for your quiet, unspoken success at being exactly who you are. And that kind of hatred, the kind born from someone else's internal war, is impossible to reason with, impossible to fix, and impossible to escape unless you understand what it truly is. Nietzsche called it ressentiment. It is a French word he borrowed and turned into a psychological weapon. It is not simple anger. It is something far more corrosive and far more dangerous. Ressentiment is the feeling that festers inside people who cannot pursue greatness themselves. So instead, they begin to build a moral case against the people who can. They cannot climb to where you are, so they start telling themselves and everyone around them that where you are is actually a terrible place to be. They cannot match your discipline, so they call it obsession. They cannot match your standards, so they call you arrogant. They cannot live without your approval, and that need disgusts them. So they pretend to not care about you at all, while spending enormous amounts of energy tearing you down in conversations you are not even part of. This is the hidden machinery behind so much of the hatred you have never been able to explain. The people who smile to your face and destroy your name behind closed doors. The ones who never directly attack you, but slowly, quietly, build a case against you in every room you are not in. The ones who seem to need you to fail to feel like their own lives make sense. It is not about you. It was never about you. It is about the unbearable gap between who they are and who they suspect they could have been. But here is where it gets even darker and even more important. Because Nietzsche was not just interested in identifying the enemy outside. He was far more interested in the war inside. The question he kept returning to was not simply why people hate you. The question was what you do with that hatred, what you allow it to do to you. Because here is the part that destroys most people, not the hatred itself, but the response to it, the need to explain yourself, the need to be understood, the need to correct the record. The slow, quiet poison of spending your energy trying to make your enemies believe in you. Nietzsche would tell you that is exactly what they want. Not necessarily consciously, most of them would never admit it even to themselves. But your desperation to be understood gives them power. Every time you shrink yourself to make them comfortable, you confirm the lie they have built about you. Every time you try to defend yourself to someone who has already decided what you are, You lose a piece of yourself in the process. The worst thing you can do in the face of undeserved hatred is to keep proving yourself to the very people whose hatred was never about truth to begin with. There is something else he understood about this. Something about the nature of greatness itself that makes this not just inevitable, but, and this is the part that requires real strength to accept, necessary. The higher you climb, the colder the air gets. Not because the view is worse, because there are fewer people up there. And the ones who stayed below will always be watching you, some of them cheering, many of them waiting for you to fall, all of them far more aware of your existence than they will ever admit. Mediocrity has a way of organizing itself against anything that threatens to make it feel small. And you do not even have to try to make someone feel small. You just have to be unwilling to be small yourself. This